You asked, and now I'm delivering. Today, I'm answering your most burning questions about modeling, so let's get into it. If you love modeling tips, industry insights, and a little behind the scenes tea, hit subscribe because you're in the right place. I've got 34 questions to answer, so grab a snack and let's dive in. Okay, question number 1. How did you get your start in modeling? So, I got scouted on social media back in 2020. So from 2019 until 2020, I was using social media as a way to show my portfolio and a way for me to get signed, because we were in the middle of a pandemic and there wasn't a way for me to go and physically visit agencies. I put my modeling photos on social media, and I also was on TikTok a lot. I was on Instagram Reels, and I was just showing my face and showing my personality. And that's how I got scouted by my very first agency. I was signed to Management. So that's how it happened. Question number 2. When did you realize you wanted to be a signed model? So I knew from like a very young age that I wanted to be a model. I was 5 years old when I saw America's Next Top Model, and I just knew that being a model fit my personality and the way that I looked. Now, as I got older, people would tell me like, hey, you should model, but I didn't know how to get into it. And I would always say, I want to model, but I don't know how. And I think a teacher or someone told me like, hey, you need to go to a modeling agency. But where I lived at the time, that just wasn't plausible because there weren't that many modeling agencies. I've always known that I wanted to be a model. And as I got older, I realized that, okay, in order to be a model, I have to be signed. So that's kind of how I made that realization. Number 3, most fun shoot you've ever done. I will say it was probably working with Nike. So I did a job with Nike sometime in the middle of last year, and I'm not sure that project is ever going to be seen. Sometimes you do get booked for things that don't get put out. It's just a shoot for the internal team. And this is a launch that is happening probably next year. So, which is crazy. The launch is going to happen in like 2026 for some new items coming out. But it was amazing. They flew me to Portland, and there was me and one other guy, and we took turns shooting in the studio. And then we had a couple shots together, and it was very high energy. I literally was just dancing because the shoes were so comfortable, and it felt like I was walking on a cloud. So I was bouncing, and then the photographer was like, that's the energy we need. And then the designer of the shoe was also there, and he was like, yes, keep that energy. So basically, I danced all up and down that set, and it just made it so much fun for me and for my fellow model that I was on set with that day. We had a great time, so that's gonna be my favorite. The most fun shoot I've ever done. The next question is number 4, my favorite job. I will say my favorite job. I'm trying to think of what I've done. I've done Skims. I did Sierra. I will say that Sierra was one of my favorites. I absolutely loved working with her. I've always loved her music. Love me some Sierra Down. And she was very sweet. She was nice. The pictures came out great. No complaints here. I'm going to go with that one as my favorite. 5. Are you able to start in your 20s? Yes. You can start modeling at any age. Starting in your 20s is not going to be a problem. 6. What agency should I send my portfolio to? Okay, this is a very interesting question, and I'm glad that it's asked because people ask me stuff like this all the time. And it's important to note that no two models have the same career. So I personally cannot look at you and, well, that's not true. I can't tell you what agencies to send your portfolio to because I don't know enough about you and what your goals are. That's a decision that you are going to have to make. But there are certain things that I can tell you to base your how you decide who you're going to send your photos to. And you decide that based on what your goals are in modeling. But you also have to be realistic. You could want to be a runway model, but if you're 5'2", you're not going to be doing runway. But Hey, if you're 5'2" and you have a great look, you can be a commercial model. So you should be sending your photos to commercial modeling agencies. If you are 5'10" girly and you want to do runway, then you should be sending your portfolio to more high-end modeling agencies. It really depends on not just what your goals are, but your qualifications. Just because you want to be a runway model does not mean you are going to be, and that could be a wasted effort. So you need to make sure that you're applying to agencies that you fit into. That's my advice. Number 7, how long have you been signed? Okay, let's do some math. So I got signed to my first agency in 2020, and I was with them until 2022. And I can't remember if it was either that same year or if it was in 2023. Yeah. I think in the beginning of 2022, me and my first agency, we parted ways. And then later that year, I got signed to Yanni Models, and she became my mother agent. Last year, January, I got signed to Next. And I've been with them for 1 year. Yay! It's my anniversary. So that's 4 years. Question number 8. Do you have a certain pre-shoot routine or ritual? Yes. It kind of varies a little bit, but the basis of the routine is that I make sure that I'm up early because I usually have to be on set early. If I'm doing like a actual booking, if I'm doing a test shoot, I might not have to be there super early. It could be in the afternoon. But if it's an early call time, I get up super early so I can make sure I have time to do my gratitude so that I can just take a moment and envision what I want the day to look like, the energy that I want to embody, and that I'm just able to really bring some good energy onto the set. I also make sure that I eat something. Usually they have breakfast on set, but I still try to eat something anyway, just in case. But I mean, they always have crafty, but just in case they don't have craft, then I want to make sure that I'm fed and I'm ready, to get into it and to show up as my best self. Are you loving these answers? Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more modeling content. Number 9, should I join a modeling school or should I join an agency? This is all up to your personal preference, truly. So a modeling school is going to teach you how to become a model. And depending on the school, what you learn is going to be different. I went to modeling school at Barbizon, so they taught me how to walk. They taught me about networking. They taught me how to apply to modeling agencies. That's how I learned. They taught etiquette. They taught me how to dress for my body type, how to find my body type, makeup tips. We did acting lessons. There was just so many different things that I was able to learn, and I think it was a great experience. And although it was pricey, it was worth every penny. I made my mama's money back by the amount of jobs that I was able to book. However, if you just decide that you don't want to do that, you can just go and apply to some modeling agencies. There's no right or wrong way. Like I said, no two models have the same modeling career. Everyone's journey looks different. Me, I went to a modeling school because my mom thought that it would help, and with me being more refined, and she was definitely right. And that's how I learned all of the stuff that I know now about modeling. Of course, I learned more of it as I actually got signed and started doing jobs, but I already knew enough beforehand that it set me up to really be successful and to have a pretty successful career. Question number 10, how long did it take you to start getting paid jobs? Okay, so let me give you a timeline. So around summer of 2019 is when I decided I was going to take modeling seriously. So I started building my own portfolio. I'm not going to say that it was a mistake because it was a lot of learning lessons in that, but that portfolio was not good. That's what it came to. I just didn't have the right eye or the right knowledge and understanding of the industry and what agencies and clients would be looking for in order to put together a portfolio, which is usually why when people ask, I suggest that they don't put together one because it's not good. And you're just wasting your time and your money if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're not getting the right shots to get you where you want to be. And I wasn't doing that. I was only just doing like test shoots and building my portfolio. And then a year later, June 2020 is when I got signed. I got signed to 2 management out in LA, and I was living in South Carolina at the time. And about a week or 2 weeks in, I had booked my first job. So after being signed, it took me maybe a week or 2. But from the initial moment that I started modeling, it took me a year. 11. When did you start? I started in 2019. 12. How do I grow my IG following? You grow your IG following by being consistent. I know that a lot of people will tell you to niche down. I don't necessarily believe that's true. I don't have a niche. My niche changes based off of how I feel and what is prominent in my life at the time and what I want to share. So it's about what is it that you're going to find out, what it is that you want to talk about, that you have some knowledge in or some expertise about, or something you're passionate about. Or you could simply just want to share your selfies and the pictures of yourself. Pick a suitable amount of times that you can post and be consistent. And I don't mean posting once a week, because that's not going to get you followers. As much as people hate this, you have to be posting consistently. And it might sound like a lot, but if you want to grow and you want to grow fast, then you need to be posting once every day. It's not hard. You can figure it out. And people be like, oh, I work, y'all. If y'all knew the amount of jobs I have at one time, I'm a business owner, a model, a content creator, and I'm a social media manager. If I could manage to do all of that and still post for myself and focus on my business and make posts and content for other people, you can manage to make a post a day. If you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. Just do some research on Instagram's platform, and there are some people that I follow that give tips on the algorithm and different changes. And the biggest thing is to actually be present on Instagram, engage with other people's content, like their content, and not just liking it, but comment on their videos, on their pictures. Go and engage, scroll through, see what's going on. Look under the Reels tab. You need to be posting Reels. Look under the Reels tab and see what's trending and recreate something that's trending, but make it applicable to you. Question 13, true or false? Modeling agencies don't look for a pretty face, just a distinctive look. It's false, because they look for both. It's not like they're like, we're not looking for pretty faces. Yes, they are looking for certain features. They're looking for good skin. They're looking for beautiful eyes. They're looking for lips. They're looking, and these are things for like commercial models. For editorial looks, they're looking for girls who are tall or who are slim or who are striking. They are looking for distinctive looks and distinctive facial features or body parts. But again, they're not just discounting pretty people because they're looking for distinctive looks. 14, what would make me stand out to agencies? You're not trying to stand out. This isn't like social media. You're not trying to stand out. You are showing your best self. And it's not about standing out, because if you go to certain agencies, they might have a bunch of girls who look like you, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to stand out because they already have one of you up there. For example, if I went to an agency in Miami and I say, hey, I want to be signed with you guys, and I look at their board and they have a bunch of dark-skinned girls who are between 5'5" and 5'8", with short, low-cut hair, dark skin, and facial features that are similar to mine, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not going to stand out because they already have someone that looks like me. So it's more so about knowing where you fit in. I went to Next for my interview. They were so excited about me. They were like, we don't have anybody that looks like you. So that's my advantage. It's not about standing out to agencies. It's about going where you are the best fit and where they will be able to best represent you. You're not proving yourself or your worth to agencies. You're not doing this whole, oh, this is why I deserve to be here. No. That's not what this is. It's, hey, this is me. This is what I have to offer. This is my look. These are my skills and my qualifications. Either you're able to represent me or you're not. And if they're not, then they will tell you, or they will be like, no, sorry, this isn't a good fit. And yeah. 15. How does a model from Namibia, Africa, get recognized by international agencies? I talk about this a lot, but this is my favorite resource when it comes to modeling. Top 2 resources. Number 1 is ChatGPT. Number 2 is models.com. You need to be using it, and I will put it in the description box so that you can go check it out. You need to use models.com. It is not impossible to get signed internationally. It happens all the time without models actually going to visit. I plan to get signed in international markets. I don't necessarily want to have to travel to London first in order to get signed. So that means, well, I have a mother agent to help facilitate that. But for someone who does not have that, you literally go on models.com, you filter through based on the city or the country, the location, whatever. And then you look at what modeling agencies they have in whatever city it is that you want to be. So if you live in Namibia, but you want to be signed in New York, then you're going to go on models.com, filter through the agencies in New York, and you're going to find, let's say, 20 agencies where you fit in, or where you feel like you would fit in best, and you're going to apply to them. That's really what you do. And the second thing I would say is you need to have some sort of social media presence. Again, that is how I got signed. But I will say that's not necessarily everyone else's story. However, in this day and age, having a presence on social media definitely does help as a model. It's not mandatory, but it is preferred if you have it. I will say it definitely gives you a slight edge and advantage. So you need to have that. Put your pictures up on your Instagram. So let's say, for example, a model of Scout just happens to be scrolling and they come across your page. They'll be like, oh, this girl would be great. And sometimes Scouts, they work with multiple agencies. So maybe the Scout says, hey, I have 5 agencies in mind for you. I just sent you to these agencies. Are you interested? That's what happened to me. A Scout literally was like, hey, I have some agencies that are interested in you. And I was like, okay. Okay, y'all, that is it for part 1 of this Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed these first 15 questions and got some valuable insights into the world of modeling. But don't worry, we're just getting started. In part 2, I will be diving even deeper into your most asked questions about getting into the industry, standing out to agencies, and navigating the challenges as a model. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on those notifications, and I will see you in part 2. You don't want to miss it. And if you love today's video, don't forget to like, comment, and let me know which question resonated with you the most. I will see you in part 2. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.